Welcome back to the MVP podcast, the people show where we talk about the most valuable players in the world of sports. My name is B-Man, and I am here to talk about Mesut Ozil. But before I even do that, people, before I do that, can you please click the like button? And if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Anyway, now that we've got that out of the way now, right, we're going to talk about Mesut Ozil and what on earth is going on right now. Because if we're being real, this is unprecedented. This treatment of a player is unprecedented. And if we're being really real, it is unfair, right? So let me just hit you with a disclaimer real quick, right? Like, I did research, so all I know is what's out there. I don't know what's going on behind the background scene. So if I missed something, or if there's something that I don't know, or there's something that's being said behind closed doors, I can't do nothing about that, right? So I am just going to go with what I know. And without further ado, let's kick it off. All right, so let me get comfortable. Yeah, let me get comfortable. So Mesut Ozil. Now, when he first signed for Arsenal, it was a massive deal. One of the best attacking players in the world. And that's a big deal, right? We're so used to seeing high quality football and high quality players that it's really hard to actually genuinely appreciate a lot of the talent that we see on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. But what on earth went wrong? When we are right now in a position where Arsenal are actually dying for a creative player, they've got a brother sat right there. And they refuse to play him. Why? Why is it that a player that's earning £350,000 a week, you heard me right, a player earning £350,000 a week can't even make the squad? And for those of you that aren't even like that clued up about the Premier League or about football in general, right? At the start of every season, the club has to submit a list of players that are going to feature for that team for the rest of the season. Any player that's not on the list is not allowed to play. And guess what? Mesut Ozil, for however good he is, cannot play. Now, let me put it out there. And I'm going to talk about a lot of the issues. But between the issues and now, Mesut Ozil has actually played. He played under Ljungberg. But it is still a problem, and I'm going to address it regardless. So what on earth did he do? Now, one of the big things that he did is he spoke up about what has been happening in China. There's been loads of information out there. And if you don't believe me, go look it up, right? Is where you have a group of people that have been detained unlawfully, unfairly, and they're not being let out, and they are under ridiculous conditions. But that's not what I'm here to talk about, right? It's a sports podcast. And although we do off the pitch a few times, this is still a football episode, sports episode. So I'm going to stick to, for the most part, just focus on the footballing aspects of it all. But Mesut Ozil spoke out about it. As a matter of fact, he said even those that have not spoken about it, including the Muslim people, are all at fault for staying silent. And from that moment, it became a massive problem. So what were the few things that happened after that? Number one, China said, doesn't happen. Although we are fully aware that it is going on, the whole world knows this. There's been numerous people that work for the UN that have come out and said that, yo, this actually does happen, right? So let's not act like, let's not act any type of way right now, right? But what did China do? So China said, nah, it's all fake news. And they went and took him out of their footballing game called Pro Evolution Soccer 2020. Took him out completely. Can't find Ozil in the Arsenal team, although I don't even know if Arsenal even has their real name on that game, right? But let's leave that out, right? But it got taken out. And on top of that, the following game was Arsenal versus Man City, which is one of the biggest games. And they took it out of their televised schedule. Now we're talking money. So what did Arsenal do? They didn't back their player. They didn't back Mesut Ozil. And instead, they took a step away from him and they said, you know what? Nah, we're not getting involved with that. We are apolitical as an organization. You are apolitical as an organization. And no Arsenal fan that I know stood up and said, well, actually, now you need to calm down because that is not true. Because it's not true. However you look at it, even the Black Lives Matter is a political movement to a certain extent. Please don't kill me for this, right? But don't tell me that you're not getting involved in issues that are happening around the world, but then go out and support other political issues. And again, I am all for supporting everyone, but do not pick and choose, right? But we know why they pick and choose, right? Sometimes a little bit of money makes a lot of sense, right? So let's move on to the next thing he did then. He is very close friends with the president of Turkey. Was his best man at his wedding, and a lot of people felt some type of way about that. Like, yeah, nah, like we want to distance ourselves from him. We're not with that. So that's the second thing that was the issue, right? Now, I'm just telling you what happened. I'm not, at this point now, I'm not even saying that these are the reasons why he got omitted. I'm just saying from the moment that he was playing, where everything was fine, to where we are now, what on earth happened? And that's all I'm doing right now. That's all I'm doing right now. So, okay, so let's move on to the next part. So what have the managers said, right? So in this time period that all of this has been happening, what have the managers done? What have the managers done? Okay, so cool. So Emery came out and said, well, you know, he doesn't really suit our pressing play, which honestly, at the time, I fully agreed. I don't think Mesut Ozil suits that. He is very lackadaisical, and he's the best when the ball is at his feet, and when it's not at his feet, it's not, you know, Arsenal fans have been complaining about that a lot, and even other fans have been complaining about that. So I thought, well, that's a valid reason, but to omit him completely from the squad, yeah, I have a few issues with that, right? But nevertheless, now Ljungberg was the interim manager, and he played him a few times, and then Arteta came. And now Arteta is saying that he's not good for the locker room. I tried to make it work, and that's when he wasn't included in the squad. When we now are looking at this Arsenal team that actually looks really good, right? They look really good. You got Gabriel, you got Leno, you got Partey, you've got Lacazette, you got Aubameyang, you got Saka, you've got the world of talent. And the only thing that they are missing right now is that link between the midfield and the attackers. And guess who fits that role perfectly? Mesut Ozil. And he's still not in the team. Arsenal fans, explain it to me. I genuinely want to hear what you guys have to say about what on earth is going on with this brother. Is it really a reality that this brother has been completely and utterly put to the side because of his political stance? Okay, it's one thing to distance yourself from that. I get that. At the end of the day, it is a business. I get that. You stand away from the comments that might lead to a massive loss of money, not just for the club, but for the Premier League and so forth and so forth. But why is it that then led to him not being able to play? Now, do you understand why all the buttons are clicking in the wrong way for Arsenal? Is that all of this is happening right at the moment that he decided to speak up? And although people are having these conversations, and Arsenal Fan TV have spoken about this maybe to a lesser degree, I'm not entirely sure if they have addressed this, I haven't watched it. But is it okay that we are staying silent and that we are not pushing more to try and understand why it is that this brother is not allowed to play football? And let me tell you another thing that happened, right? Well, we were very unfortunate, this generation is very unfortunate that we've had to go through a pandemic, right? Football had to shut down and they restarted it again for money purposes. We are all fully aware of that. Even the season, the off season got shortened and the season started earlier than we expected and whatever, right? We know it's about the dinero, right? But why talk? When he was asked to take a pay cut, the brother said no. And everyone was up in hysterics and up in arms. Well, you make all that money, how can you not support? But why should he? If Arsenal as a club were that serious about the money, this owner, Kroenke, owns big boy football teams back in America. And I'm not talking about football that we know. This is American football. But don't tell me that these guys that his pay cut was going to make the world of difference. And if he decided not to, that's his money. That's the contract that he signed. So whether or not the brother decides, if he gives it, fair play. If he doesn't, so what? We are fully aware that every football player has some form of charity that they work towards. So let's not act like every penny that they earn goes straight into their pockets. They don't. They all, and if there's other people out there that say, well, the reason why they are paying towards all these charities is because it gives them like a tax break, all of that, man, I do not care. If the money that I earned, and I'm a teacher, if my head teacher came up to me and said to me, yo, you need to take a pay cut. Everyone else needs to take a pay cut. Even if everyone in the school decided to take a pay cut, I would still think about it twice. Well, why is it that I'm doing it? What is the reason? And if I stand by that reason, I will full-heartedly give the money. But if I decide not to, then is that not my problem? Is that not my issue? Why should Mesut Ozil be taken, should have that kind of attack? Now, why am I even mentioning this, right? Because really, this doesn't really fit the timeline, and this is kind of like a separate issue. Is the reason why I mention this is it builds such a negative light towards a player that is just trying to speak about injustices. Surely players should be empowered with the number of followers that they have. And if money is an issue, that's fine. Distance yourself from it. But the way that I see it is just very coincidental that while all of this is happening, my brother can't even play, and you guys are paying him top dollar. Now, if I was at work and I have been given all of this, the way that I see it is, yo, you're just trying to kick me out. You want me to cancel my credit. You just want me to leave. You just want me to leave all that money on the side. The brother earns more than $1 million a month. You want me to just leave that money and just walk away, go to a new club? You're trying to sell me? No, give me my money. That's the only way that I see it. So now he is going to run out his contract. And then beyond that, I don't know how much his image has been damaged to a point where it might end up him losing dollars, pounds towards the end. But isn't it very convenient that his brother doesn't play after he spoke about all of this? Is that not unfair? Is that not treatment that's really poor? And I'm just gonna leave it at that, right? I don't know if I should even do a segment where I just rant, because I could rant about Paul Pogba for ages, and I'm not ranting about his stance in football and is he a good footballer or not, but more like, why is it that the media treats him the way that they do? Why is it that other players can get away with things that he does, but he gets scolded for it? Why is it that if he makes one mistake, that he's get vilified, and even when he's not playing, people still have something to say about him? And when I say people, I'm not talking about your regular Joes like me and you. I'm talking about the pundits up in Sky Sports, the pundits at BT, always got some stuff to say about the brother. So maybe I should do like a ranting corner, you know? I have a lot to rant about. I've got a lot of pent-up energy. I'm a teacher, bro. I've got a lot of pent-up energy, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it at that for now, right? So please, if you like this episode, just click the like button. And if you're not subscribed, man, subscribe. It don't hurt nobody. It don't hurt nobody, man. And I'm gonna be back again soon. I'm gonna drop bangers after bangers after bangers. I don't care what no one says about me, right? Anyway, thank you for listening to my rant, and I will be back again very, very, very soon. So peace.